journey over these last few months at Kritik Education Corp as a co-op student has been very amazing and valuable to say the least. At the beginning of this term, the number one goal that I wanted to focus on was my self-confidence and self-encouragement, and I think that with the very supportive team that I've been blessed with, as well as the opportunity to work in challenging projects and environments, I've truly seen myself step out of my comfort zone entirely and learn how to trust in my abilities in the workplace. I think that this newfound confidence is going to have an amazing impact on my professional, academic, and personal future, and I really am grateful for this opportunity and growth from Kritik Education Corp during my co-op journey.
One of the most significant advantage of this co-op term is gaining the real-world problem-solving experience instead of just relying on the theoretical knowledge from the textbook. I get to face the actual challenge and apply my skill to solve the practical issues. This hands-on experience is incredibly valuable and gives me the confidence that I can tackle any problems that comes my way.
I got to be involved in all areas of marketing, from events to email campaigns to social media to content creation and even a bit of product marketing, and I'm sure I'm still missing some areas. And so being able to kind of see all these different areas has helped me develop skills in these areas and see like what kind of programs are used, what kind of skills are needed. I got to learn from Armin and Preeti, who were just amazing managers to learn from over the course of my co-op term. They were so knowledgeable and really helped guide me along this journey, and they really helped me to build my confidence and encouraging me to try kind of new areas and develop new skills. So I'm really grateful for all of the new skills that I developed and the confidence that I built over my work term at Kritik.
While working on our HR team at Kritik, I got to develop my interviewing skills significantly. Before coming into Kritik, I had only done some co-interviewing at other positions, but in this role, I got to interview on my own, and I got to interview a mix of co-op students and full-time employees. I think the biggest thing that I took away from working on this project was that it really developed my professional goals. I hope to go into some kind of HR and recruitment position full-time, and working at Kritik gave me the opportunity to get real hands-on experience that will help me be competitive when I apply for jobs after I graduate.
I believe that my experience here at Kritik has improved my confidence as a developing professional and enhanced my career development. Kritik has taught me how to use tools that were new to me in the beginning and expand and enhance my skill set as a software developer. I've become much more comfortable with starting on new challenges, and I'm becoming more and more confident in the results I produce thanks to my time at Kritik.
During my time working as a people and office assistant on Kritik's HR team, I got to work on a project to help us migrate our benefits to a new provider. This was a really interesting project where I got to learn a lot about an area of HR that I didn't know a lot about. I had never worked with benefits before, so not only did I get to learn a lot of technical stuff, but I also got to learn how to roll out a new plan to employees, how to communicate changes, and manage with the different stakeholders.
In my time here at Kritik, I would say that the most interesting project I've worked on was migrating databases from MongoDB to PostgreSQL. It was a really big project that I learned a lot from. On the technical side, I got to work on my database skills, as well as expand my knowledge on development in TypeScript and testing the product for quality assurance. On another side of things, I've learned more on how to work within a team and know how and when to reach out for help when I was stuck.
The most interesting project that I took part in during my time at Kritik as a co-op student was helping out with the institutional data usage reports. These reports allowed me to deep dive into data on how particular instructors and users at certain institutions were using our product and how exactly they were incorporating it in their courses online. With this, I was really able to develop and strengthen my problem-solving and investigative ability skills, as I was able to brainstorm with my team how exactly we can improve our product going forward and how we can set our current instructors up for success as they reuse this product in other courses in the future.
The most interesting project I worked on at Kritik was the roster sync feature. It involved integrating with a third-party API, and it was quite a fascinating experience. Throughout this project, I learned a lot about working with the external API and the coding pattern necessary to make it all come together. Integrating with a third-party API presented its own unique set of challenges. I had to familiarize myself with the API documentations, understand its own endpoint, and figure out how to communicate effectively with it. I learned the importance of error handling and how to deal with the potential issues that might arise when working with external systems.
I got to be involved in so many interesting projects during my time at Kritik. Two that just stick out was being involved in over 45 workshops where I kind of got to oversee the kind of what it takes to do live event management. So from creating outreach lists to creating landing pages to promotion to chat management to distributing the resources after the workshop and nurturing the registrants. I just learned what it takes to put together live events online, and it was just such a cool experience to be part of. I also got to create a lot of landing pages and web pages using Webflow, and so being more proficient with CMS platforms was something that I wanted to develop, and I really got to develop that skill here at Kritik.
As a software developer intern, I went for an 16-month term co-op because it allows me to really immerse myself in the company's culture and get a deeper understanding of their code base. So you see, understanding the inside out of a company's code base takes time, especially when dealing with the larger project. So with a longer internship, I could really dig into the architecture, designing patterns, and coding conventions, making me more effective as a developer. But it's not just about the technical stuff. I also wanted to get a taste of what it's really like to work in a real-world software development environment, tackling those real-world challenges, working with a team, and collaborating on complex projects. And speaking of the team, the extended internship allowed me to build strong relationship with my colleagues and supervisors. Those connections could really come in handy down the road, for the mentorship opportunities, references, and even networking for the future job perspective.
It's funny because I've had 4-month co-ops in the past, but it's always in month 4 where I actually click and I know what I'm doing, and that's when I actually get really good at my job. And then your co-op ends. So, having an 8-month co-op is great because you get over that hurdle of that preliminary 4 months of starting a brand new job, and then you're quite familiar and you have another 4 months to make improvements and do better. And it also doesn't hurt that you get to stay with a great team for longer, and it also gave me the opportunity to dive into things that you normally wouldn't have time to do in a 4-month co-op, because now you've got 8, so you can really make the most of your time there.
For my co-op term at Kritik Education, I opted for an 8-month instead of a 4-month term because I wanted to immerse myself in the work environment and gain substantial experience during my term. I really do think that this extended duration helped me grow greatly on a personal, academic, and professional scale because I had more time to develop more serious relationships with my colleagues. I got to take part in more serious and substantially important long-term initiatives, and I got to focus on a higher frequency of projects because I would be here for a longer amount of time. I think that this extended time frame really did help me make a meaningful contribution to this organization, and I did not regret it at all.
I really preferred the 8-month co-op semester as opposed to the 4-month co-op semester, just because it gave me a really good opportunity to hone in on my skills and be comfortable in my role and position at Kritik. And once I was comfortable and confident in this position, I was actually given the opportunity to help with some of the onboarding as new co-op students started to come in. So I was given the opportunity to have them come on my calls, call shadow them, kind of give them some training and pointers, and just kind of improve my skills along the way. Unlock some new interests of mine and give me some really good opportunities. Just because it wasn't so rushed with those 4 months, I had time to really hone in these skills and be comfortable and confident with myself and my position at Kritik.
I'm really glad I got to do an 8-month co-op term with Kritik. I feel like in my previous co-ops, which were only 4 months, as soon as you kind of get into the role, you're kind of coming to the end of your 4 months. But being able to be here for 8 months means that the skills that I started developing after 3 to 4 months, I just got to continue building those over the next kind of 8-month period that I was here. And it just makes such a difference when you're building relationships with your team as well. I found that at Kritik, being here for 8 months, I just really got to know my team a lot better, and it just made my experience so much richer.
The best part about choosing an 8-month co-op was that I got a lot of time to learn, and then once I had gotten through the learning curve, I still had many months left to apply my skills. I think when you work in a 4-month co-op, it takes a little while to get a hang of the job, and then you're leaving pretty much after you've figured everything out. But doing my 8 months at Kritik, I got to learn the job, and I learned it pretty quickly, and then within the 8-month period, I had so much time to actually apply my skills, take on interesting projects, and push myself to a level that I hadn't been able to do at any 4-month job before.
Some advice that I would give to future co-op students based on my experience is don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help or ask questions. Everyone here on the team is super supportive and super friendly. They're here to see you succeed, and they want you to succeed. They're willing to help you out, and if you ask questions, then they are able to help you out. So don't be afraid just to reach out and ask.
The advice I'd give to a new co-op student working at Kritik is to don't be afraid to take initiative to get involved in a certain project or to suggest new things to test out. If there's certain skills that you want to develop or you just want to see what it takes to be involved in a certain area of the company, take the initiative. Because it's such a small company, there's so many ways that you can see what happens to make a company of this size kind of grow, and the team here wants you to succeed. They really do, and one of Kritik's values is actively learning, so the team is more than willing to help you see how your personal goals and your professional goals can fit in with Kritik's company goals, and how you can develop new skills during your time at Kritik, and they'll help you to make the most of your time here. So just don't be afraid to ask.
For any future co-op joining Kritik, my advice would be to come in prepared with what you want to learn. Know your goals and know where you want to be, after you graduate, and then really pursue projects that will help you to learn. I think the great thing about working at a small company is that you get to be flexible with your responsibilities and you can wear many hats. And so if you know what you want to accomplish and you come in with those goals in mind, you'll certainly be able to learn and really push yourself as a professional.
The best piece of advice that I can give any co-op student starting a new role at a new company would be to have confidence in yourself and in your learning abilities, as it can be really intimidating starting a new role with a new company, but any company that has a support system like Kritik and learning resources like Kritik would set all co-op students up for success.
First and foremost, be proactive. Don't just wait for the task to come to your way. Take the initiative and seek out opportunities to learn and contribute. Trust me, it makes a big difference in how much you get out of your co-op. Secondly, learning is the name of the game here. Embrace it. So be open to trying new things, technologies, and ways of doing stuff. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone, as that's where the magic happens. Finally, build the relationship with your colleagues and supervisor. You never know when these connections might come in handy for the mentorship, references, or even landing a job later on.